that, sweetie. Okay, let's continue.
Has decent morals. But for like a alt-right racist white woman who does view black people as being beneath her, she's going to hear that and she's going to agree with that, and she's going to probably view the black man saying it as somebody that she can control. I think that sort of rhetoric.
No, for one, I've been around people who are racist. I knew a specific white woman who was racist, okay? One, she wasn't alt-right. She wasn't conservative. She was liberal, very liberal. But yeah, that was one point I just wanted to say there. She wasn't a conservative. But one thing I noticed was, okay, she was heavily submerged around a lot of ghetto black people. That's what she was familiar with. That's what she was comfortable with. So she was used to black men, you know, kind of like putting her on a pedestal, kind of treasuring her, valuing her, things of that nature. And she liked that. Yes, she embraced that. Very much so. But she would never touch him. She would never touch them. Ever. She was more so the type that would just be like, basically, like, I'm better than you, and you're gonna kiss my feet because you're trash. That's how a racist person is, because they see black people as inferior, as animals, as beneath them, and they see themselves as better. And this is a common occurrence with a lot of liberal white people. A lot of the time, liberal white people have always implied that there's a racial hierarchy and that white people are above all other races. But you guys always try and pretend that somehow you are for people of color, but you're literally pushing that black people are beneath everybody and you're above everybody. And when people validate that, of course, you appreciate that. Somehow you think that that's not being racist. I don't understand. How can you say that you are above everybody else and that black people are at the bottom, and somehow that's not racism? That's a major view of liberals, is that you think that black people are inferior. So that's all I have to say in this portion of the video. Also, I wanted to also say that a big part of racism, white supremacy, and so forth is actually being anti-miscegenation. I mean, why did we have anti-miscegenation laws? Specifically because white racist people did not want it to be legal for black people to be with white people. So you can't say that any racist person, regardless of their political party for that matter, is ever going to want to be with a black person. Miscegenation is antithetical to white supremacy. It's like, you really expect to pull the wool over people's eyes and pretend that they don't know what white supremacy is, because if we really did pay attention to what it was, we would know that someone with white supremacist views is actually speaking on this live stream. Continue.
Does kind of send out a signal that he's not strong within his identity as a black man, and that he's going to be it's white, it's the worship of white.
Okay, so first off, you're saying he's not comfortable in his identity as a black man. What you mean to say is he needs to know his place. He needs to be in his box. Because it's so important to you that people fit into their black box. Because black people need to be in a box, basically. They're not like the rest of the population. They're a specific subset of people who need to be distinguished from other people. That sounds like racism to me. Now, on the whole idea of white worship, like, I don't personally think just because someone finds someone attractive, that's worship. So, if that's the case, then do heterosexual men worship women? Do heterosexual women worship men? Because you're saying the mere attraction to someone is worship, even though you don't actually know why someone is attracted to someone. It could be that they're genuinely attracted to white women, to white men. It could just be that. Anyway, continue.
Yes, basically. Right. And, because of that, yeah, I'm sure that there could be some racist white women who will see that and think that, okay, this is a man who I can control, and that's on top, not to even bring up the whole fetish aspect of it too. So, oh god, that's a whole other thing. And see, that's the thing. Like, I think some of these,
and that's the thing. You're saying that they can control, but you understand that there are plenty of white men that they can control, right? I don't understand why you're saying, oh, they can control, they can control a black man. No, if they see them as inferior, then they will see them as not a partner that can potentially be theirs because they're inferior. You forget black men are a minority in America, so for every black man they think they can control, there's like at least 2 or 3 white men they can control. And this is regardless of how they look, because white men are the majority in society. They're 5 times the population of black men. So that's why I said 2 or 3 times would actually be a smaller amount of men available to them that are white. So, you're acting like they live in Barbados or Bahamas or Ghana or something where most people are black. They don't have to deal with that. They just have a small population of men who will kiss their feet and basically embrace them and basically worship them in those cases, right? But that's not specifically going to be something where they're going to actually want to be with those people. You have to actually use actual situations, like I just did. I used a scenario where I knew a white woman who was specifically racist white liberal woman, and she specifically showed how she appreciated, the validation, the appreciation that black men gave her, but at the same time, she would never consider them because she felt better than them. And I would say this is the same with white men for that matter. For a racist white man, if there was black women doing that, they would have that same concept, but they would never be with them. I talk about this with some people, like on like some content creators who have white men on their channels, and they start like talking about black men and so forth and that whole issue and everything, and they'll talk about how they feel in reference to how they feel in reference to like black men, black women, and so forth, and how they want to attack black men and attack that whole situation. They will always have this mentality where they will tell the black women that they come from bad families and all this stuff, and they have a mentality where they see black women as inferior. It is what it is. They're not going to be with black women while they're saying that. Because, like I said, it's not specifically that racist white men or racist white women are going to actually choose black men or black women when they feel that they are inferior. It is just what it is.
People, and I don't want to necessarily push the whole race play narrative, but I have seen where
Oh, I'll do that video next, actually.